What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk about Berserker's Eye and the other damage multiplying gems and how they can potentially be the absolute best gems in the game. Let's get into it. All right, so in order to understand what I'm talking about here, we need to talk about Berserker's Eye and any other damage multiplying gem. So I'm gonna go ahead and do is pull up someone that actually has Berserker's Eye maxed out here. And what we're gonna be talking about today is how Berserker's Eye could actually basically give you the value of 900 potential resonance in a 1-star gem at rank 10. Why is this? Well, because of this damage multiplier in its ability. Now, resonance also will increase the life, and so we're missing out on the life. It also won't give us as much combat rating. However, combat rating matters significantly less in certain scenarios after you've reached a certain point in PvE content, or it has just a cap in PvP content, but you're also not going to get the 10% extra magic find from a 5-star gem. However, it has the added bonus of the awakening effect if you decide to do it. And so this also applies to any sort of damage multiplying gem. But if we talk about, first off, my own personal stats here, resonance is going to multiply our base attributes. This is not going to include paragon points. This is not going to include gems, normal gems. It's only going to include the base stats on your gear here, your damage and your life. And so this is, since it's only factoring in these stats, it's actually not factoring in your overall damage number. In fact, this damage number is a lot of it is additional damage. About a third of it is various sources of normal gems or paragon points. And that means that when you have a Berserker's Eye or Blood-Soaked Jade, because this is also, or a Bloody Reach or something like that, Power and Command, all of those will go ahead and do the same thing and multiply your damage after resonance has been factored in. So it's multiplying this damage number, whereas resonance is only multiplying the damage numbers and life numbers on your gear here. Now I have built a spreadsheet out for this. I'm gonna go ahead and go more in depth into it, but I wanted to give you a brief overview in case you wanted to click off the video. But let's go ahead and jump into it. And if you do like the content, be sure to subscribe. I know about 80% of you are not, so I really appreciate it. And let's jump into that spreadsheet. All right, so here we are, and we are on the spreadsheet. Now, in order to understand resonance, first off, we need to note that resonance, per resonance, you get 0.05% of your base stats increased, and we're going to be assuming 1,000 base damage for most of this stuff. Now, if we just look here at a 5-star gem really quickly, I don't want to go too in depth into 5-star gems overall, because we can do this very quickly, and that is when you are increasing your 5-star gem, this is the resonance you're going to acquire, and at rank 3 is about the same investment from a rank 10 Berserker's Eye into a 5-star gem. So if you get it to rank 3 for a 5-star, it's about the same investment as if rank 10ing a Berserker's Eye. And you'll see here, you're going to get about, at maximum, 300 resonance, or 4 out of 5 is going to give you 270, 3 out of 5 is going to give you 230, and 2 out of 5 is going to give you 190. So if you have those 5 out of 5s, the maximum is going to be 300 resonance, which is going to be very rare to obtain. Now, if we just look at sort of a base number here, assuming we have 1,000 base damage, well, we are going to get a significant damage increase. Every single point are 100 resonance, which is kind of what I've calculated out here. Every 100 resonance is going to give us about 50 damage. Now, if we happen to have Berserker's Eye, we're also going to get a significant damage increase on top of the already increased damage from resonance. And so what I've gone ahead and done based on these numbers here is I've gone ahead and factored out what the value is of a Berserker's Eye from a numbers perspective. And there's a lot of numbers here on screen, but what I want to show you is basically this category right here and this category right here. So what we've done here is assuming 2,253 base damage. And if I were to just go ahead and swap back over to Diablo here and pull up my damage once again, we have 6,143 damage. But if we were to just factor in all of the actual damage from our gear pieces, that number comes to this number right here, which is 2,253. So that is the only amount of damage that you'll be multiplying from resonance. And this is a standard player who's going to be my Paragon level, which is about 127. So anyone that's out there is about 127 has been grinding. You're going to have about this amount of damage from your base damage. And so with that, what we'll find is yes, the resonance is going to increase our damage, and yes, we're going to get a lot of damage increase as we go up and get these massive amounts of resonance. But you'll note that because we're getting this damage increased, and then we're adding the additional damage from our normal gems and from our Paragon tree, that damage is then multiplied by Berserker's Eye. And so what you'll find is this damage right here, from comparing a regular, just overall standard resonance build without any multipliers and something that has a multiplier, the damage difference is massive. And this calculator right here is going to tell us the resonance value of a Berserker's Eye based on your resonance. And I've gone ahead and showcased this down in some graphs here. But before we jump into that, I wanted to showcase these because these are going to be the points where you're not going to be able to upgrade your gem up to 5K resonance quite yet until you really invest heavily into those, kind of extra resonance areas, because Berserker's Eye is so low on resonance. However, it doesn't really matter because, as we've seen here, Berserker's Eye is offering crazy amounts of resonance. On average, it's equaling, the damage increase equals about 900 resonance across all, from 100 resonance to 5,000 resonance. You can see it here. The damage chart, or these charts here, the first one on the left hand side, your resonance as it increases, the value of Berserker's Eye damage increase also slowly increases, and you can see it reaches to about 1,300, as you can see in the top right corner where my mouse is. It's about 1,300 as about once you get 5K resonance. Now also, if we just look at the resonance based on the damage difference, you can see as resonance increases, the damage that you actually get from Berserker's Eye increases as well, because once again, you have your base damage, or your base damage that you get from your resonance multiplied by your resonance right here, and then it's added on your other damage that you get from your normal gems, and then you go ahead and multiply it by Berserker's Eye. So as you increase in resonance, that percentage multiplier gets increased as well and gets more valuable as you get higher resonance. And what basically this means is that despite some players really interested in those 5-star gems for mass resonance gains, it's actually significantly more valuable for you to run Berserker's Eye. Now, I know some people might say, oh, but in PvP, you're going to get a third of that effectiveness. Well, that is true. You're going to get a third of that damage multiplier, as well as you're also not going to get Magic Find and the combat rating. So there's a few downsides. The thing is, even with a third of the multiplier on Berserker's Eye, it's still going to give you the damage equivalent of about 330 resonance. Keep in mind that this number is not including the resonance that you're getting on top of your gem. So you're getting 150 resonance from Berserker's Eye itself, and then you're also going to get 330 resonance worth of damage on top of that. And that means that you're going to get still higher value until you start reaching those insane ranks and you're an absolute mega kraken. This is really solid for those low to mid spenders. Really, I would say more akin to the mid spenders, because it's hard to get a rank 10 Berserker's Eye if you're a low to free to play player. Now, also, if you're in PvE content, there's no contest. You absolutely want a Berserker's Eye. And we haven't even talked about the fact that you can awaken that slot in of itself. And now this is going to get a little bit more complicated. And so I have not gone ahead and done any calculations for that, because it depends on what slots awaken, what class you are, what scenario we're in. But if we just look at Ghost here with the Berserker's Eye, you can see Vengeance cooldown decreased by 10%. That is a massive bonus. Some classes like my Crusader, if I awaken my shoulder piece, I'm gonna go ahead and get 10% decreased banner cooldown. And so all of those factor in as well. And then of course, like I mentioned, you're not gonna get the Magic Find. And most importantly, downside I would say of all this is that you're not gonna get the additional life increase. So if we just hop back one more time over the spreadsheet, and we talk and we see these damage numbers, right? If we have base 2,253 damage, and we're going to see these damage increases up to about 11,000 at 5,000 resonance, or if we just look at the actual damage number, about 9.4K, well, we would be at 90K life as well, but instead we're going to be much lower, simply for the fact that we're missing out on that resonance, and we're going to be missing out on, anywhere from 1 to 5,000 life, depending on what gem you're running. And so that is a significant downside. However, when we're talking about general content, damage is oftentimes more valuable than life. And so I highly recommend you all give Berserker's Eye absolutely everything you have. And for my build, actually, I focused more on just going full 5-star gems because Phoenix Ashes was actually quite cheap. However, if I had gone with Berserker's Eye instead of, let's say, Phoenix Ashes here, I would actually be doing way more damage, and I might consider just going ahead and rank 10ing a Berserker's Eye here and then going and awakening a slot, because it is going to give you way more value for my PvE content and my PvP content. And I don't really care about the magic find, considering I don't have more than 15% magic find because my gems are rank 4. So hopefully that gives you an understanding of all that. And I will say, just before I wrap up the video, that this logic applies to every single percentage multiplier gem. So if I open up my bag here and we look at, let's say, Power and Command. Power and Command is going to increase your primary attack damage, and sometimes, or based on what mode it's in, primary attack damage or skill damage. And then we're going to have something like Bloody Reach that's going to give us more damage the farther we're away. And this applies again to everything. Fervent Fang, what's another one? Sled's Weakening, although this is only to elite monsters. Berserker's Eye, as we mentioned, and so on and so forth. Any percentage multiplier gem similarly has the same logic. However, Bloody Reach, since it's a 2-star gem, has different logic, as well as Fervent Fang. However, and also Fervent Fang is actually a battle pass / boon ability only gem. So again, those are a little bit different. But when we're talking about 1-stars, it's clearly way more valuable to go with rank 10 1-star to give you more damage overall, simply for the fact that it's just going to give you that massive damage multiplier. And even in PvP, it's still going to be massively useful until you're a mega whale. So there's my findings. Hopefully that's interesting to you all, and hopefully you will see a lot more Berserker's Eye. Again, I might go do it, but I'm kind of hesitant on going ahead and feeding this Phoenix Ashes, but I may do it anyway. So I will see you for the next video, and hopefully with more Berserker's Eye then.